Hello and welcome to the first actual video to this channel. This is already my second take and I'm not the kind of person who likes to do multiple takes if the quality of my content couldn't tell. Anyway, I wrote a little script. It's literally just intro hardware software how to start. It's not gonna help at all. Anyway, so first of all I would like to say in the end all the advice I give is sort of like a guideline. Going on, adding on, and doing your own thing is usually advised. But nevertheless, let's begin with my advice. So, first of all, you want to figure out the hardware you have available to draw. You obviously have traditional, which is pen, paper, all that. I don't really deal with that, but it is a good option still if you don't have anything good to draw with and you're not willing to make compromises, which I'll be talking about in a sec. Speaking of which, what if I don't have a drawing tablet or something like that? There are options. As I said, there's traditional, but you can also use stuff like your phone's touchscreen, or you can just use your computer mouse. I've seen people who've actually gotten pretty good with it. Whether or not you could, I personally can't, is a different story. But if you must have a drawing tablet and you don't have money, there are always, oh damn it, switch scenes, cheap ones you can get off Amazon, like this one here. This was personally the one I started off with. I have since upgraded to the Artist 12 non-pro, and that's what I've been using. Although I've actually more been using my Samsung tablet, which is a P160 if I remember correctly. But either way, figuring out what hardware you can get and what hardware you have is probably a good place to start. Uh, so the next thing is software. With software, I would quickly like to relate back to hardware. If you have something like a Note series phone, or in my case, a Samsung tablet, they also have pens built in. I need to reconnect my tablet because that's how I was planning to share the screen. They have pens built in, like this one here. Uh, and you can actually download software on them to where is it? To pretty much emulate the proper drawing tablets with a screen and all that. In my experience, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I use this one here sometimes. It's not going to connect. I don't have the driver installed on my desktop. It's on my laptop. But that's aside the point. I think. So back to software. What software should I use to draw? Well, if you're using an Android device, drawing only on Android, or iOS for that matter, I don't really have much experience with iOS devices. I've heard the Apple iPads are good to draw with, but I don't know anything about that, so I am not going to say much about that. But on Android, you can look through the Play Store and find different drawing apps. For example, Autodesk Sketchbook is the one I use. I use an older update for. They removed a feature I liked, which is actually sort of annoying. But another program I also use a lot on Android is Critter. I'll get back to Critter in a second. But yeah, in the end, you can look through the Play Store and find a bunch of different apps. Anyway, this time actually disconnect and F4. So what do I use on the desktop? Um, First of all, I would like to say, look around. There's more than one free drawing program. I've seen people use Paint.net, GIMP. Some people use Photoshop, but that isn't free. And a lot of other different software. Personally, I use Critter for desktop, just like I did on the tablet. Again, it's up to personal preference in finding what interface you find most enjoyable and that kind of stuff. So my next point is, okay, I've figured out what I'm going to draw with. I've found the perfect software for me. how do I actually start drawing? That is a hard question. You could look at tutorials on how to actually draw, which might have been how you even got to this video. This exact video isn't going to be tutorials on how to draw. I'm just doing a tutorial on how to get started. There's a slight discrepancy with what I mean there, but similar thing. As I said, there are multiple ways. You can look at tutorials, or you can just figure it out on your own. I figured it out on my own. How I did it is I looked at other people's art and took bits and pieces from it and incorporated it into my style. An easy way of showing this is just before I got into drawing, I read a webcomic called Two Kinds. Good comic, made by someone also named Tom. This is an example of their art. It looks nothing like my style. I wish I was that good. But a similarity I've noticed, I don't know if I can put it side by side, but is with how I draw eyes. I do the rounded shape like that, and then another shape like that, and fill in the middle black. And to me, it sort of looks similar to what Tom had here. But just play around and you'll find what your style is, whether it was watching tutorials on YouTube or doing what I did and taking inspiration from other artists. Hell, maybe I'm even a source of inspiration. If so, I'm honored. The next thing is try to find motivation to continue drawing. Don't pressure yourself to continue, but find something that pushes you to draw more. Personally, that for me, that was with comics. But there are a number of ways. You could just do sketches every day, and that's probably good. I actually haven't done my comic in a while, but that's besides the point. And third sort of one is try to find a community of artists. I personally found a community of other comic artists from the comic hosting service I use, Comic Fury. There's a Discord server that you can join. I'm not going to put any links or anything, but they were personally a very good group of people to help me grow as an artist. And I think in this video, that's all the advice I have for you. I might put cards throughout this video on future videos I upload. I don't know what any of them is. I know one's probably going to be about shading, but I'm not too sure. Anyway, I hope you get started drawing. That's all I can say. It's honestly fun to do, and it's always nice to see your improvement.